Wayne Chrebet is in the house on this busy and hectic day of Jets cuts. And I know he's got some opinions on what transpired today. Folks watching, thanks for watching. YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff. Post a comment and we'll get to it. Wayne has everything on this fine Tuesday.
Good, tough day. Watching some of these kids' dreams kind of been dashed a little, but we'll talk about some of them. Got enough film to hopefully catch on with another team. And obviously, I want to talk about my experience the morning of Final Cuts. But anybody has comments, I know people have a lot of thoughts. I saw it on social media. Let us know.
Yeah, you're one of the very best people to talk to on this day. I'm going to share the screen so we could look at the roster. We'll do that on the first half and then get into your personal experiences in the second half. If I could ever find the damn tweet. But off the top, before we get to that, did any surprises shake out in your mind?
You know what? You know more about the lower bottom of the depth chart. But just some of the names, it seems like people are for the most part happy. Some of the guys made it, but it seemed like it was pretty right. And I know people were saying about the Martinez kid for third quarterback with Travis on unable to play list, but there's a good chance that they want to try to bring him up practice squad. Is there a good chance that we lose him to another team?
I don't think so. He's going to start the year on NFI. We won't lose him. The Jets won't lose him, but we don't know if he's going to play at all this year.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like a red shirt. Consider Travis a red shirt year. My browser just froze. So shout out if you lose me, but I think I'm still good here. Just got to wait a couple seconds.
No, I know Travis will make it. I'm just saying Martinez.
Oh, Martinez. Okay.
Behind Tyrod. I know they're only carrying two quarterbacks right now.
Yeah, it's I don't know if Peasley or Martinez has the edge. I know there were a ton of offensive linemen at practice today, so there's going to be at least three or four offensive linemen on the practice squad for sure.
All right, and you say there was like 70 guys out of practice today, and they cut.
Yeah, I'd say the 53 plus another 12 to 14 to 15, 16 guys. So a good bulk of the practice squad. As I catch up here, my browser is just jeez.
You want to just go through the list for people who didn't hear it?
Yeah, hold on. Let me share my screen. I've been trying to kill time while waiting for my browser to.
So the comments so far, keeping Leonard Taylor III, Tyson Manning says, is a big deal. I know a lot of fans wanted to keep him around. I thought he was a good keep.
Yeah, I agree. And here's the roster for everyone who could see it. Initial 53, offense 25 players, defense 25 players, quarterback Aaron Rodgers, Tyrod Taylor. We'll run through it too for the audio only people who just listen on iTunes or Spotify.
So there's no surprises there. Good running back.
Good on running back 4, Brees, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, Izzy. Receiver 7, Wayne. They kept Brownlee, Corley, obviously Corley, but Brownlee and Irv Charles.
Yeah, the thing with Izzy, I know that was questionable, but a 45-yard touchdown run. Garrett, Michael Williams, yes. Xavier, yes. Lazard, Corley. I think those are the 5. Brownlee did well, and they're special teams guys, so they have 7, but 2 of those guys play a lot of special teams.
Yes, yeah. Irv is the big special teams guy. Brant Boyer loves him. There were fans. Some fans they get enamored with an idea to cut a guy like an Irv Charles, but Irv was never going anywhere. No chance.
So tight end, we got Conklin and Rucker.
This is the thing. They are thin at tight ends. Right. And I wouldn't be shocked if Sefcik, the UDFA, and maybe even Ferkser, go to the practice squad and they have those guys elevated.
It could be game plan wise what they're going to use on the offense. So tackle Tyron, Moses, Shianu, Mitchell, who could play both, and Warren.
And go to Warren.
Nothing. And Tippmann, AVT, Simpson, Schweitzer, and Newman. Look at that compared to last year.
Tremendous.
A lot of depth. You can start with defense.
Okay, defense, edge. They're carrying 6. JJ, Jermaine, McDonald, Clemens, Tack, McKinley, Braden McGregor, the first UDFA, Eric Watts, the second UDFA.
Yeah,
And then
that's
the interior is Quinnen Williams, Kinlaw, Solomon Thomas, and Leonard Taylor. So McGregor, Watson, Leonard Taylor, 3 UDFAs make it. And the reason they can do this is because Reddick is starting on, and Fotu, Leaky Fotu, let's not forget about him. He's starting on IR. So is Yeboah, by the way. And that's why they're thin at tight end.
Look at that. I mean, we got pretty good edge rushers. Some young guys, like you said, undrafted guys. But they stayed firm. Reddick is fined $4.7 million already, and I don't think it could be forgiven. Not sure what he's doing, but when they go out and these young guys start doing well, and obviously JJ, McDonald, Clemens, they're gonna do their part. At some point he's be sitting home like, I messed up. You know what I mean?
I still think he's gonna report maybe Friday, but maybe his agent is standing firm and saying, "Hey, dude, the Jets are going to lose to San Fran. Then they're going to panic, and then we're in the driver's seat." They're not going to panic, even if they lose. They're not.
D lineman Kinlaw, he's a new player.
Yep.
Is he replacing John Franklin Myers? I guess. So how does Kinlaw showed up? So I can kind of like toot Joe Douglas's horn. It looks like he had a pretty good camp.
Yeah. Kinlaw is solid. He's a weird looking defensive tackle because he's 318 or whatever, 320, but he carries it well because he's a little taller. He's not big. He's not thick. Gotcha. He's not overweight, I should say. You know what I mean? Like some big guys are. He's solid. And then Solomon Thomas and then Leonard Taylor. This kid has incredible talent. He's the guy Jets fans are most excited about right now.
So linebackers, Mosley, Quincy, Sherwood, Surratt, and Barnes. That's a squad. Cornerback Sauce, DJ, Michael Carter said, Eccles, Diggers, and JBC.
Jarek Bernard Converse.
Yeah, they're Stiggers. You know what? He's the Canadian League kid, right?
Yes. Yeah. Right, first kid drafted. Yeah. Yep.
We got Adams, Clark, Ashton, and Oliver. That's what I felt was a position of, not that it was bad. It just wasn't as strength of the other positions.
Yeah.
And then look at our special teams: Zerline, Morstead, and my man Hennessy.
Who doesn't love a little Hennessy every now and then?
So let me look at the comments. Someone said, Michael Pieper Jr. said, best Jets roster ever. On paper, looks pretty damn good. Let's see. Demars Z45. Our defensive line is so stacked, it makes me smile. Yeah.
Yep.
Though somebody said maybe Izzy would be traded. Is that a thing?
Well, everyone does their roster predictions, right? Yeah. And the guys who were on or off that were questions in a lot of people's minds were Izzy, Brownlee, not for me because I thought they'd carry Brownlee, but Izzy, Brownlee, Irv Charles, some people had, but not many, and Xavier Newman and Codrington. Yeah. So let's get to the cuts. Brandon Codrington, the kick returner who flashed. The Jets knew they probably couldn't sneak him through waivers because he got put on notice and the league noticed him in those preseason games returning the football. So sent him to Buffalo, Wayne, which the Bills and the Jets never make trades. And it was officially a late round swap. We don't know the actual rounds, either round 6 or 7, and they're swapping picks. But how about that? Codrington going to a division rival.
Well, I mean, he's not like starter. He can have a good return game, but just to get something. This is interesting. Window with a View Sports Talk. He says having 2 tight ends, thinking is Irv Charles big enough to play tight end in some packages. I mean, he's pretty versatile guy. That could be a thing.
I think he played a little tight end in college.
Yeah.
He started at Penn State and then went to was it Indiana in Pennsylvania? I don't know if I'm mistaken. Indiana University of Western PA, I believe, and he played tight end and receiver, so it's possible.
Yeti says his YouTube channel is Retire 80 already. Just me and my son growing up, we are all your biggest fans, but I'm your biggest fan, Wayne. So cool that you are still engaged with the team. Can't praise enough. I appreciate that. Real quick, let me get into how it goes. So this thing
Yes.
called the Turk, and you don't want the Turk to come visit you at the dorms. So we're still in camp, but it was cut down little by little.
Mm-hmm.
So the last cut, we used to have like a common room and then 2 bedrooms. And that morning I heard, I had started the last preseason game, had 5 catches, did well, but I wasn't sure, and they asked me what number I would want if I made the team. I said 80, but the door was knocked on. So that door opened, and then he knocked on my roommates. Remember Saka from Penn State? He was like, yeah, he didn't make it, and they didn't knock, they left, they didn't knock on my door. I was like, and then I kind of fell asleep. I was so relieved that I was kind of almost late. But yeah, you would be driving every year to the complex, on Final Cut Day, and you would just see the younger guys or some guys just walking back to the dorms, dejected. And it's a tough thing to see. Unfortunately, I never got that knock. But a lot of these guys got a lot of chance to play because our veterans didn't. So hope you get film and you did well. People will notice you.
Yeah. And you mentioned the Turk.
Yeah.
Joe Douglas, for those who remember, at first ever HBO Hard Knocks was the Ravens in 2001 after they won the Super Bowl, after they beat the Giants.
Right.
And I don't know if it opened this way, but Douglas was featured prominently as a young kid, a young scout who was the Turk. And they assigned him the duty to knock on guys' doors. And it's in Hard Knocks. If you're ever bored and want to check something out, check it out. Search it on YouTube, Joe Douglas Hard Knocks Ravens. So it's funny you say that. Turk was his exact name.
Our guy was Mike Kensel, the sweetest guy in the world. But it basically said, coach wants to see you bring a playbook, just like you saw on Hard Knocks. But I don't know how the conversations go behind closed doors. But for the most part, it's like, you did well. We just, it's a numbers game. We're going to bring you back on the practice squad if you clear waivers, or we know you can make it. Maybe at some point we bring you back. So if they're in camp that long to make it to that cut, they just need an opportunity. But if you watch Hard Knocks, you can kind of see it's a tough. It's got to be a tough conversation for Coach Sala and Joe Douglas to do that. 30 times today, 25 times.
Yeah, it's not easy. Number one, just from a human element, and then on top of that, from a strategic transactional element.
Gotcha.
It's like if you have a guy who you know is going to clear waivers easier than another guy, that factors in, unfortunately. So it's not just play on the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So great chat. A lot of new people, like, subscribe, all that stuff, ask questions. But I'm loving the new people in here.
For folks who don't know, subscribe to our YouTube membership now. A lot of film breakdowns. I have one up, Lewitt has one up, and we're gonna do a lot of stuff with Chrebet where lucky subscribers who inquire will get to ask Wayne Chrebet, meet and greet Wayne Chrebet virtually.
Someone said, how's Leonard Taylor versus the run? Because Fotu's out, right?
Yeah, Fotu's going to be out for at least 4. And that was the shocking thing. No one knew Yeboah and Fotu were going to go to IR. Everyone thought it was going to be JBC. And now that I think about it, they did this with Yeboah either last year or the year before, where he seemingly didn't have an injury and he started on IR.
Right.
Maybe it was last year. I can't remember, but it's interesting they did that. Taylor, the thing I can say about Taylor is he's like the perfect prototypical 3-tech guy, like a Quinnen Williams.
Gotcha.
Fotu's good against the run, like a 2-gapper, 3-4. Taylor has an incredibly high ceiling.
Now Kuhn's the tight end.
Yeah.
He didn't make. Well, people are like, that's a bust. He was a 7th-round pick, right? He's a
7th round pick. Along with Codrington being traded, the guys who were cut were Kuntz. He got outright cut too. I don't think he's coming back to the practice squad. He was a late round pick. He just couldn't make the tough catches. And Jalen Key, Mr. Irrelevant. Maybe he's practice squad bound, but 7th rounder. GMs usually don't like to cut those guys because there's dead money involved, but he didn't make it either.
Yeah. So generally, so people know, 53-man roster, 48 dress.
Yes.
So for the lower guys, depending on specialty, everything. So there's, when everybody gets to the stadium game day, 5 of those people will have, basically, Jets t-shirt and pants
Yep.
and a hat. And that's kind of when they find out, those 5 people aren't active. Some are a surprise, but that's how it goes. But if you are on that 53, even if you don't dress, you get your pension, you get your full pay.
Full salary.
There's full salary, and then there's practice squad. Now, rookie year minimum was 119,000. Now it's 700,000.
Yes.
So I made 119,000, and I basically had one less pass than Joey Galloway for the rookie lead. But if you made a practice squad, it was like 70,000 for the year. Now it's like, you can make that in a quarter of the season. So things have improved, but 119,000 rookie year. People say, "Oh, that's a lot of money." Well, then you get your ass kicked and go 3-13, and I earned every bit of it.
And I remember you tweeted this out. Your signing bonus was like 5 million, right? That year
Sign
95.
bonus $1,500.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
messing with you.
$1,500. I was rich.
You were made. You had it made. You were ready to roll with that signing bonus.
10-cent wings and nickel beers. I was the most popular guy on campus.
I gotta start showing these comments on the screen. Yeah, keep it coming with the comments. We're looking at them.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: your rookie year, on a scale of 0 to 100, how confident were you that you were going to make it?
It's just about getting opportunity. And then, this guy was nicked up and didn't want to practice. This guy didn't know the plays, get him out. Guys dropping passes, get him out. This guy's out of shape, get him. And it just bumped up. But, until that third preseason game, I hadn't really played but one series in the second game. And then that was the whole first quarter. No one's doing anything. And he said, Chrebet, get in there. And then
Yes.
all of a sudden I did well, but with Boomer, not with the 4th-string guy versus, the Giants' first team, not the 4th-string guys. And then the last preseason game, he's like, I'm going to start you at Cincinnati. Like 5 catches early. And he's like, all right, you're done. I'm like, I can do more. He's like, no, you're good. I'm like, I don't know what I did. So at that point, I was like, there's a chance for being on the roster. But when he said, we're going to start you down at Joe Robby at Miami the first game, I was just like, now this is insane. This is
real.
Like, yeah. I'm going to be in there in the beginning when it matters. And it was just at that point, I'm like, I got to do what I can do to stay there.
Who was in that first huddle? Do you remember? Like who was the receiver opposite? Was it Yarbrough?
It's Ryan Yarbrough.
Yep. Baxter.
Brad Baxter.
Brad, the fullback.
Yeah, and
Johnny Mitchell still there at tight end.
Johnny Mitchell's tight end, and I think Morrell was.
Yes, Morrell was definitely the running back. So yeah,
very good running back. Morrell and Baxter, he's as tough as they come. Johnny Mitchell, he was a different kind of cat, but immediately, like he pulled up the first day in red bandana, red Porsche, red everything. But after like the first couple practices, he's like, to me, he's like, come with me after practice, and we just run. He was more of an H-back. He was just built, but I run with him, and he kind of took me under his wing. And I wish I had more time with him, and I've seen him a couple years ago, and he's just one of those guys that kind of believed in me. But Johnny Mitchell, all those guys, and boom, they looked out for me.
Yeah, and the O-line wasn't that bad, if I remember correctly. It wasn't bad at all in 95.
No, I mean, we had like Soupy Mala and like from Matt Willie. Matt Willie's like a movie star. He's like plays like the villain in these movies. That's serious.
What was his name again?
Matt Willig, W-I-L-L.
Yes, I remember Willig. Yes.
Yeah, he's in some movies, man. He's done well for himself.
Yeah, in 93, the O-line famously, like the first half of the season, protected Boomer, didn't give up any sacks or like 1 sack or 2 sack, and they made a poster titled "The Bodyguards" for any of the diehard Jets fans out there. So that remnants of the 93 O-line had to still be there a little bit in 95.
Yeah. So but then at that point, I think I saw the 1998 highlights. Obviously, Parcells, great year. And there was only like 15 people from like the 1 in 15. So everybody got replaced. DMAR Z45. Did I have Neil O'Donnell my rookie year? No, that was Boomer and Bubby Brister.
Yeah, Neil came the next year.
Yeah,
and then he stayed in 97.
It was Neil, who I had a great relationship with, and then the person I threw one of the nicest balls
Frank
ever
Reich.
was Frank Reich. I'm telling you.
Yeah. That was the one you caught it right at the goal line and burnt up your entire arm on the turf. It's impossible to miss because of the old AstroTurf at Giant Stadium.
Kelvin Joseph actually just asked Wayne Original OG, best story you played with. There's different. Like Boomer, it's such a nice touch. But it was weird because it was the first lefty and only lefty I ever played with. People don't realize ball comes like that from a righty, that from a lefty, the way the ball is down. Let me see who back. I played a little Bubby, threw me a nice touchdown last game. Got to give it to Coach Light.
That's on YouTube actually. The old MSG Sports Desk has that highlight of that last game and you giving it to Kotite.
Yeah, Neil, Frank Reich threw a great ball, Chad and Vinny, and I played with a lot of guys, but those are the guys I had the most experience with. And then I played a lot with Glenn Foley, who I thought should have been in the league a lot more than he was. Ray Lucas, he's athletic as it comes. So I played with a lot of good guys, but as far as like the touch, I always like Frank and Chad. Vinny just threw seeds, but I was lucky to play with some good ones.
Yeah, people forget Foley was the starter for you guys in '98, or not? '98. Yeah, before Testaverde came in, third or fourth game, if I recall.
Do you know that we were 0-2 in '98?
Yes, the Garrison Hurst run
Foley
in overtime.
We came out I think I had 2 touchdowns. Keyshawn had 1 or 2. We both had 120 yards and freaking Garrison Hurst, man, 90-something yard start overtime.
Yep, Mariucci was going on about how great the new Jets uniforms looked, the old Namath white helmets.
Yeah,
and that Parcells, it just came together at the right time.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. So it's tough. It's tough this time of year, like you said. You hear stories and where people are from and what this means to them, and everybody's got a story. But you root for people. You are invested in people, especially now because the vets don't play, and you root for people. And like you said, anybody who in chat is like, "Oh, I thought they shouldn't make it." Well, if you thought they should make it, then another team is going to find that they're a better fit with their team. So you just wish them the best.
Look at this, Yeti. Wow, Wayne read my comment out loud. Yes, Yeti, it happened.
I'm looking at the picture. Nice picture.
Yep. I can't see it. Oh yeah, there it is.
That's a Jets family. Wait a second.
Thanks for watching, Yeti. And folks, by the way, this nostalgia talk, I mean, we do it from time to time, but when we first started, we did it all the time. And I think we're circling back to it eventually. We're going to do a lot more of it in the future. So, become a member.
Yeti, are you at a bowling alley? Does that look like a bowling alley?
It does.
Yeah, I like reading the comments. I read them. I just like answering, giving my opinion. We can go ahead and retire number 80. All the receivers were 1 to 19 nowadays anyway. Now they can wear anything.
That comment comes at least once a show.
Yeah.
Here we go. Dano Jets. I didn't see this yet. We do know the Codrington trade now, our 7th for their 6th. Yeah, so
it's something,
Yeah, it's not bad.
Michael Pieper Jr. is always in chat. Jets going 13-4. They get through San Fran. If you look realistically, who can beat them? I mean, if they beat the teams they're supposed to, obviously you need to win the ones you're supposed to and some of the ones you're not. I mean, let's go game by game. Start with San Fran. That's good. But I'm looking at them. Trent Williams is holding out.
Yeah, they're not in great shape right now.
And Ayuk hasn't signed. So you got 2 of probably the top 3 guys on their offense, top 4 guys on their offense that aren't in camp in the games in what, week and a half?
Yeah.
We might be catching them at the right time before these 2 guys get in camp. I mean, Trent Williams, he's just, he's one of the best. He's scary out there. And I don't know who will be of course from Debo, but that's a huge advantage first game of the year.
Huge. And McCaffrey's still banged up too. I mean,
Yeah.
All the fantasy news, because McCaffrey and fantasy go hand in hand, it is saying that he should be okay by week 1, and I think that's true. But he's still banged up, so you never know.
Listen, you get someone like that. You get a win on the road against. It's probably their toughest away game. I mean, obviously the AFC East games are tough, but that'd be a good one to get.
And then Tennessee the week after, and I mean, holy smokes, if they could ever start off 2-0 after 2 road games,
yeah,
that's a tremendous position.
Yeah.
Get your final comments in. We got 2 minutes left, thereabouts. And yeah, looking at the schedule, the Vikings in London, you can never say a London game's easy because the travel's a pain in the ass and all that, but there's a good chance Sam Darnold's still going to be the quarterback at that point. So that should be interesting.
Here we go real quick. So, I mean, you don't want to count whatever. So they're at the Niners. If they go out there and play the best, listen, you're at Tennessee, Levis is the quarterback. They're not what they used to be. Patriots at us, we can certainly beat them.
Yep.
Broncos are at us. I mean, I think the Bo Nix guy is a quarterback. They don't have too much going on, but we're home. Jets at Vikings in London. I don't, is the McCarthy guy playing another rookie? Bills at Jets. Good game to win at home. Jets at Steelers. They're tough. They're going to be really tough. Jets at Patriots. I think certainly if they could win both home and away. We play the Texans, who's a great young team.
Yep.
But we're home at the Cardinals. And then Colts are at us. Seahawks are at us. 2 really good teams. And then 2 out of the last 4 games, I guess, are versus Miami. But at that point, you'll know where you are. Listen, any of these games they could lose. But if you look at that, you're not playing the early 2000 Patriots. You're not playing KC. You're not playing, the Bengals. You get a good head of steam going if you win that one out in San Fran.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not like, was it last year or 2 years? I think 2 years ago when they had murderer's row of quarterbacks the first 6 or 7 weeks. Their schedule's been rough the last couple of years. So this is definitely payback, or at least balances it out some.
Oh, my last stat of the day. You probably heard it. So in his career, when Aaron Rodgers, the team he's on, their defense gives up 20 points or less, they're 81-10.
Whoa.
Hold on, listen. There's my dog. So they only give up 20 or less. So in the last 7 years, same thing. Basically, Green Bay's defense gave up 20 or less. In the last 7 years, with Aaron Rodgers' team, they are 35-2. In 7 years, they're 35-2 if they can hold the defense holds to 20 or less points. Now, this is the best defense by far that he's ever played with. I know you say on paper you got to win the game, but look at those statistics. Over 20 years or the last 7, I mean, you can't ignore that, man. 35-2. That's a scary stat that, in games like that, mentally or just putting points on it, he knows he can win a game if he scored 21 points.
That's absurd.
35 out of 32 times.
Yeah, that's the crazy one. Like that's the other one's crazy too, but that's the crazy one. And listen, I mean, we know he had decent defenses with Green Bay, AJ Hall, Clay Matthews, but they were never dominant. Like they got hot at the right time in the playoffs that one year they ran through into the Super Bowl 2010. But talent wise, especially if Reddick comes back, which I mean, we're near the end now with Reddick, but we'll see. Especially if Reddick comes back, it's gonna be scary.
So we'll see. We'll talk next week.
Going
into everything. But appreciate, like I said, click the like, subscribe, everything. And it's we're gonna do, like I said, some more personal stuff coming up right on the season. I know Robby's gonna Robbie's going to put it on the Jets X Factor site.
Yeah, we'll get a date hammered down. It'll be sometime in September, early season. Just become a member, share the video, like us on iTunes, all that good stuff. Like this video too, which I never say. I hate the shameless promotion stuff, but we got to do it sometimes. So Wayne, good seeing you. We'll talk to you guys next week.
All right.